Hi there students! Welcome back again to another video lesson for Grade 7 Mathematics Quarter 4. So we are now done discussing mean, median, and mode of ungrouped data. So yung last video lesson natin. So for the next video lesson, we will be discussing group data naman. So dito, makikita nyo na naman yung frequency distribution table na i-discuss ko during our video lesson for Week 3, yung organizing data in a frequency distribution table. So dito, medyo mahaba-haba yung discussion natin. It's because mean, median, and mode of group data. So may mga formulas talaga and then well-explained po sila. So let's start. So let us start our discussion by defining the lesson objectives. So we will calculate the measures of central tendency of group data. So, mean, median, and mode po yan. So, kagaya nung ungrouped data, so isang video lesson natin sila i-discuss. Pero, meron po akong mga video lesson after this one na sunod-sunod sila. Nakaseparate sila. Mean, median, and mode. So, let's start. So, let's have mean of group data. So, in calculating measures of central tendency of group data, data should be presented using a frequency distribution table. Okay, so since we're talking about group data na, hindi na ungroup, so malalaking mga data na ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Maraming frequency na. Okay, like for example, 100 items, 100 scores. Okay, so kapag ganon, kailangan talaga natin gamitin or i-present sila using a frequency distribution table para mas well-presented sila and well-organized. So there are two types of method used in solving for the mean of group data, which are using direct method and assumed mean method. So dito sa video lesson na to, ituturo ko po sa inyo kung paano i-calculate yung mean using two different methods. So, kahit alin man dyan sa method na yan ang gamitin natin para i-compute yung mean ng group data, parehong sagot din po ang kanyang ipoprovide. So, ipapakita natin yan using one example and then using the two formulas. So, para makita nyo na kahit anumang formula ang ginamit natin or gagamitin natin, parehong sagot lang ang kanyang ibibigay. So, to calculate the mean of group data using the direct method, use the formula. So, by the way, yung direct method na to, ito po yung commonly talaga na ginagamit. Okay, so in order to calculate or to compute the mean of group data. So, ito yung kadalasang ginagamit. So, ayan, x bar, so mean is equal to summation of the product of the frequency and midpoint or class mark all over n. So, yung mga variables na yan, so, explain po natin. So, x bar, that is mean. And then, f is the frequency. And then, x sub m, ito yung class mark. So, yung class mark, so, mamaya i-discuss natin kung paano nakukuha yan. And then, ayan, summation of the sum of the product of frequencies and class marks. Okay, so, yung sigma, ito pong Greek symbol na yan, ang tinatawag po na sigma. So, kapag nakita po natin yung symbol na yan, it means summation. Ibig sabihin, hina-add natin yung mga data. Okay, yung mga scores. And then, n is the total frequency. Total number of students. Total number of scores. Ayan, basta we're talking about total. Kapag n. So, calculate the mean score of 50 students in a summative test in statistics. So, apply natin yung formula through a given problem. So, ayan. Ayan po yung scores and then frequency. Okay, so, as you can see, yung lowest possible score na pwedeng makuha ng bata is 56. And then, yung highest score is yung perfect score, 100. Okay, so for each class, meron tayong mga frequency. Like for example, for 96 to 100, there are 3 students who got a score from 96 to 100. Maaring makakuha siya ng 97, 98, 96, 100. Basta pasok po dun sa range na yan. So, yung class na yan, so 96 to 100. So, let us now calculate the mean score. So, para gawin yon, let us add 2 more columns for class mark and the product of the frequency and class mark. So, kanina, sa example natin, sa previous slide, so, nakita nyo doon is yung scores and frequency. So, kailangan nating mag-add ng 2 more columns. So, yung third column natin is yung class mark. And then, yung fourth column natin, ito yung product ng frequency and class mark. Okay, so, paano ba kinukuha yung class mark? Okay, so, i-add lang po natin yung 96 tsaka 100 and then i-divide natin sa 2. Okay, so 96 plus 100 we have 196 and then divide natin sa 2 we'll have 98. Okay, so pwede rin naman ilista natin yung mga numbers and then yung middle value, yun po yung magiging class mark. And then, yung class interval natin dito is 5. So, magbilang tayo from 96 to 100, that is 5. And then, yung class interval na yon, isusubtract lang natin sa 98 para hindi na tayo paulit-ulit dun sa ina-add and then divide 2. Okay, so yun yung pinakamabilis na paraan. So, 98 minus 5, we have 93. And then, 88, 83, 78, 73, 68, 63, and then 58. And then, yung n natin dito, so i-add lang po natin yung mga frequency. Okay, so 3 plus 4, we have 7, plus 2, 9, plus 7, 16, plus 12, 28, plus 5, 33, plus 6, 39, plus 9, 48, plus 2, 50. So, 50 students po, kaya kailangan yung total natin is also 50. Next, yung fourth column natin, so i-multiply lang po natin yung frequency tsaka yung nakuha nating mga class mark. So, 3 times 98, that is 294. 4 times 93, we have 372. 2 by 88, we have 176. 7 by 83, we have 581. And then, 12 times 78, so we have 936. 5 times 73, we have 365. 6 times 68, we have 408. 9 times 63, we have 567. And then, finally, 2 times 58, that is 116. So, para makuha natin yung summation ng f of x, ay fx, summation ng product nung frequency and class mark, so i-add lang po natin lahat nung mga nakuha nating product sa fourth column. So, 294 plus 372 up to 116. So, add lang natin. Okay, so, upon adding the scores, ang summation po is 3,815. Okay, so, make sure na tama yung pagka-multiply natin. Tsaka, syempre, unang-una muna is yung tama yung mga nakuha nating class mark. Kasi kapag mali yung class mark natin, sa fourth column, mali na po agad yun. Totally, mali na rin po yung makukuha nating summation. So, since 3,815 yung nakuha nating sum dun sa fourth column, so, apply na po natin ngayon yung formula. So, calculate the mean using the formula. So, ito yung formula natin kanina. Mean is equal to summation of the product of frequency and the class mark all over n. So, yung nakuha nating summation is 3,815, di ba? So, ito siya. And then, over n, that is 50 kasi there are 50 students. So, i-divide lang po natin yon sa 50. So, 3,850 divided by 50, we will get 76.3. Or pwede natin yang i-round off 76. So, ibig sabihin, yun po yung mean score, yung average score ng students. So, I hope naging clear sa inyo yung first method. So, we'll have the second method now, which is yung assumed mean. So, ito po yung formula for assumed mean. So, that is x bar. So, mean is equal to assumed mean plus the product of the interval and summation of the product of frequency and deviation all over n. Ayan. So, ipapaliwanag natin yung mga variables, yung mga letters na nakikita nyo dyan sa formula. So, yung una is yung x bar, that is mean. And then AM, that is assumed mean. F is frequency. And then D, deviation. And then summation of FD, that is sum of the product of frequencies and deviations. And then I is yung class interval. And then N is the total frequency. So, kagaya ng nakuha nating ay example natin kanina, so ayan pa rin naman. So, calculate the mean score of 50 students in a summative test in statistics. So, wala po tayong binago dyan na data. Okay, so same pa rin po yung gagamitin nating data. So, para mas makita nyo na alin mang method ang gamitin is magbibigay ng parehong sagot. So, yung nakuha nating mean kanina is 76.3. So, kailangan 76.3 din po ang makuha natin using the second method, yung assumed mean method. So, we will calculate the mean score now using assumed mean method. So, before that, we will add 2 more columns for deviation in FD. So, ito yan. So, ayan. Yung pang 4th and 5th column. So, paano natin nakukuha yung deviation? Okay, so, dito titignan natin dun sa mga frequency, alin yung pinakamataas. So, as you can see dito, yung class na 76 to 80, yun yung may pinakamataas ang frequency. So, kapag ganon, yun ang magsisilbing basis natin. Doon natin kukunin yung assumed mean. Okay, so, and then, kung yun ang kukunin natin, ilalagay natin dun sa column ng deviation, nakatapat doon is 0. And then, yung nasa lahat na nasa taas nung 0 na yon, yung classes na mas mataas sa 76 to 80, ay lahat positive. Yung mga nasa ibaba, lahat negative. So, magiging 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yung sa baba naman, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So, maaari yung negative mapunta sa taas, yung positive mapunta sa baba, depende sa pagkakaayos ng ating mga classes. Dito kasi, yung 96 to 100, yung pinakamataas, nasa taas siya. Pero kapag pinlace natin yung 96 to 100 sa pinakababa, pinagpalit natin silang pwesto ng 56 to 60, magbabaligtad po yan. Lahat ng positive nasa baba, lahat ng negative nasa itaas. Next. For the fifth column, so, multiply natin yung frequency dun sa nakuha nating deviation. So, 3 times 4, we have 12. 4 times 3, we also have 12. 2 times 2, we have 4. 7 times 1, 7. 12 times 0, that is 0. And then 5 times negative 1, negative 5. 6 times negative 2, we have negative 12. 9 times negative 3, we have negative 27. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So, yung next na gagawin natin dito, lahat ng nasa taas, i-add natin. So, 12 plus 12 plus 4 plus 7. So, that is 35. And then, yung nasa baba naman, i-add lang natin dahil pareho naman silang negative lahat. So, negative 5, negative 12, negative 27, and negative 8. So, kapag pinag-add natin yan, ang makukuha nating sum is negative 52. And then, finally, add natin 35 plus negative 52, we have negative 17. So, yun po yung magiging summation niya, negative 17. So, ayan, pwede na nating i-apply yung formula. Okay, so sa assumed mean po, ang kinukuha natin dito is yung class mark. Okay, so yung class mark po ng 76 to 80 is 78. So, yun po yung ating kukunin. So, 78 plus, okay, so yung summation ng product ng frequency and deviation is negative 17. And then, yung n natin is 50 times yung interval natin is 5. So, yung 5 tsaka 50, pwede yung i-simplify. So, 5 magiging 1 and then 50 magiging 10 kasi yung GCF nila is 5. Next, 78 plus negative 17 all over 10. 78 plus negative 17 over 10, basically negative siya, that is negative 1.7. So, since positive and negative, so I subtract natin and then follow the sign of the bigger value. So, yung mean natin is 76.3. So, as you can see, alinmang method ang ginamit natin or gagamitin natin, ipoprovide niya yung parehong sagot. So, dun sa direct method, yung first method natin, our answer is 76.3. Using assumed mean method, we also got 76.3. So, we have median of group data. So, the first step in solving the median of group data is to find the class interval which contains the n over 2 score. Okay, so, ang unang step natin na ginagawa kapag nagsosolve tayo ng median is yung pagkuha ng tinatawag na median class. Okay. So, malalaman lang natin yung median class natin kapag yung n, yung total frequency, dinivide natin sa 2. And then, meron tayong additional column dito, yung tinatawag nating less than cumulative frequency column. So, i-discuss natin siya mamaya. So, less than cumulative frequency column. So, doon natin malulocate kung nasaan yung ating median class. So, again, kailangan muna nating i-divide yung total frequency sa 2. And then, tsaka natin gamitin yung less than cumulative frequency column para malocate yung median class. So, let us now proceed to median of group data. So, I will be introducing the formula in order to calculate the median of group data. So, here is the formula po. So, dun sa mean, di ba, x bar siya. So, for median, ayan siya. Yung parang pa-wave sa taas. So, kapag nakita natin yan, that is median. So, ayan po ang kanyang formula. So, didiscuss natin yung mga variables na nakikita nyo dyan. So, una, ayan, median yan, yung symbol for median. And then, LB, so that is the lower boundary of the median class. So, sa ibang reference, yung LB na yan, makikita siya as ganito. Ayan. And then N is the total frequency. CFB or CF sub B, that is the cumulative frequency of before the median class. Okay, so mamaya explain natin yung cumulative frequency na yan. And then, F sub M, that is the frequency of the median class. So after nating ma-determine yung median class, easy na lang po, madali na lang pong i-identify yung frequency. So hindi natin ma-identify yung frequency hanggat hindi natin ma-identify yung median class. And then finally, yung I is yung interval. So ayan po ang formula for calculating the median of group data. Now, let us have an example. So dito, dalawang examples po yung ipapresent natin. So para mas maintindihan nyo talaga kung paano ina-apply yung formula. So for the first problem, so calculate the middle age of 40 junior high school teachers of San Isidro National High School. So by the way, I am a teacher from this school. So kaya yan na lang ang ginamit ko. So ayan, yung ating data, so we're talking about age, edad. Okay, so ayan. As you can see, yung ages, yan, 59 to 65, and then up to 24 to 30. And then yung frequency per class, ayan, naka-indicate din. So, let's start. So, let us have the frequency distribution table. Okay, so ayan. So, dito, yung interval natin is 7. So, paano kunin ang interval? So, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So, yun lang po. Bibilangin lang po natin yun. And then, N. So, N is 40. So, kahit hindi na natin yan i-add, so, kasi naka-indicate po dito sa problem. So, for counter-checking na lang, pwede naman natin i-add. So, next. Less than cumulative frequency column. Okay. So, paano natin ma-fill out yan? Okay. So, ang gagawin natin, dito sa lowest class natin, 24 to 30, yung kanyang frequency is 7, yun po ang pinakauna nating isusulat. And then, we'll add successively pataas. Okay. So, ano ang i-add natin sa 7? And that is 9. Yung frequency po ng kasunod na class. Next, upper class. So, 7 plus 9, that is 16. Plus 11, 27. Plus 5, we have 32. Plus 6, we have 38. And then plus 2, we have 40. So, make sure yung N po natin, yung total frequency po natin, nakatali po dun sa sum. Dun sa upper class nung less than cumulative frequency. Ayan, as you can see, 40 din po yan. And then, N is equal to 40. Okay, next. Calculate the median class. Okay, so para hanapin yung median class natin, okay, so yung N po na 40, i-divide natin sa 2. Okay, so location muna nung median class natin. Okay, so yung N natin is 40, i-divide natin sa 2, and that is 20. So, located po yung median natin dun sa 20th score. Okay, yung 20th score po natin ang magsisilbing median natin dyan. Okay, so, saan located yung 20th score na yan? So, dadako ngayon tayo dito sa less than cumulative frequency column. So, yung frequency ng 24 to 30 is 7. So, hindi siya 7. Next, dito sa kasunod niya, 16. So, 16 is less than 20. So, hindi pa rin po natin makikita yung 20th score dyan. So, punta po tayo dito sa next upper class, yung 27. So, located po dyan yung 20th score. So, ibig sabihin, yung median class natin ay located po dito sa 38 to 44. So, median class nasa 38 to 44. So, dyan po natin makikita yung hinahanap nating median, yung middle age. Next, to calculate the middle age, add one column for less than cumulative frequency. So, na-add na natin kanina. So, ito po yan. So, now, since meron na tayong column for less than cumulative frequency, so we are now ready to calculate the median. Okay. So, yun po yung formula natin. So, bilugan lang natin ulit itong 38 to 44. Ito po ang nagsisilbing median class. Tandaan nyo po yan. So, next. Lower boundary. Okay. So, since yung 38 to 44 ang ating median class, makukuha po natin yung lower boundary kapag nag-subtract po tayo ng 0.5 dun sa lowest. Okay. Lower class limit. So, sa 38 to 44, ang pinakamababa natin is 38. Yung 44 naman yung pinakamataas. So, dun sa 38, mag-subtract tayo ng 0.5 and that will be 37.5. Next, yung n over 2 natin na nakuha kanina is 20, di ba? Minus CF sub B. So, yung CF sub B na yan, that is the cumulative frequency before the median class. So, yung median class natin is 38 to 44 na may 27 na nakalagay sa kanyang less than cumulative frequency. So, yung sa ibaba po ng 27 is yung 16. So, ibig sabihin, yung cumulative frequency before the median class is 16. So, 16 po ang ilalagay natin. Tandaan natin, kapag na-locate na natin yung median class, pupunta lang tayo sa ibaba, yung next na kasunod niya. Hindi yung pinaka-ibaba, yung kasunod niya mismo na nasa ibaba. Next, over frequency of the median class. The frequency of the median class is 11. Ayun. And then our class interval is 7. Next, 37.5 plus, yan, so sisimplify na lang po tayo. So, 20 minus 16, that is 4, over 11, times 7. Next, 37.5 plus, so yung nasa loob ng parenthesis, yung 4 over 11, so i-divide lang po natin yon. So, 4 divided by 11, ang makukuha nating value is 0.363636. Ibig sabihin, repeating digits yung 36. So, sulat lang natin as 0.36 lang times 7. Next, 37.5 plus the product of 0.36 and 7, and that is 2.52. So, yung last step po natin, i-add lang po natin yan. So, 37.5 plus 2.52, ang sum na makukuha po natin is 40.02. So, ibig sabihin, yung middle age po na hinahanap natin is 40.02. Okay, so pwede naman natin yung i-round down, magiging 40. So, the nearest whole number, 40. Ibig sabihin, yung middle age is 40. So, let us have mode of group data. So, the first step in solving the mode of group data is to determine the modal class. So basically, the modal class is the class which contains the highest frequency. Okay, so since, di ba, mode is the most frequently occurring value in a set of data, so pag group data na po ang pinag-uusapan natin, we'll just determine the class, the particular class wherein meron siyang pinakamataas na frequency. Okay, so that will be the value of the modal class. Okay, so doon natin madedetermine agad. Hindi katulad ng median, yung n, total frequency, di-divide muna natin siya sa 2. And then meron tayong cumulative frequency column. So dito, pinakamadali siya. Basta determine lang natin yung class, particular class na may pinakamataas na frequency. That will be the modal class. So let us now have mode of group data. So how do we calculate the mode of group data? So yeah, syempre, we will use this formula. So, mean x bar. Sa ano naman, median yung x na wave, parang x wave siya. So dito yung parang may hat siya. Ayan. So yan po yung symbol for mode. So, the formula, ayan. So, as you can see, meron dyan nakikitang parang triangle. So, that is delta 1. Okay, so, sa ibang mga books, makikita nyo sila as d sub 1, d sub 2. So, explain natin yung formula na yan, kung paano siya nagwo-work. So, yung I, ganun pa rin naman. So, ayan, yun yung symbol for mode. And then LB, that will be the lower boundary of the modal class. So, dun sa median, yung lower boundary, makikita siya, madedetermine siya kapag meron na tayong median class. So, same with mode. So, dito, modal class muna para madetermine natin lower boundary. And then, paano natin kukunin yung delta 1? Okay, so D sub 1. So, the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the next lower class. So, since na-determine na natin yung modal class, so yung frequency po nun, isusubtract natin sa kanya yung frequency ng mas mababang class, yung kasunod niya. Next, D sub 2 naman, the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency of the next upper class. So, dito naman kabaliktaran. So, yung next upper class naman, yun ang isusubtract natin sa kanya. Okay. So, let us apply the formula for mode of group data. So, our example is, the table below shows the weight in kilograms of 30 residents of St. Lucia Village. Find the mode. Okay, so pag-uusapan natin dito is timbang. So, expressed in kilograms. So, ito yung ating data. So, first column, we have weight. Yung weight natin na nakalagay dyan, naka-express po yan in kilograms. And then, yung frequency on the second column. So, determine the modal class and calculate the mode. Okay, so dito wala tayong less than cumulative frequency column. So, let us have the frequency distribution table again. So, dito, yung interval po natin is 10. So, I hope, as of this moment, alam na po natin kung paano dinedetermine yung interval kung given yung ating frequency distribution table. And then, yung frequency natin, ayan, on the second column, yung n is equal to 30. So, i-add lang po natin lahat yan. So, 3 hanggang 1. And then, we'll get 30. Next, determine the modal class. Okay. So, ayan, nakikita nyo na agad yung formula dyan. Kasi, madali lang naman i-identify yung modal class. Ito po yung class na may pinakamataas na frequency. And based from this table, yung modal class po natin is 61 to 70. Sir, bakit po yan ang modal class? It's because ang kanyang frequency ay 11. Out of the frequencies, siya yung pinakamataas. Therefore, yung 61 to 70 ang tinatawag nating modal class. Okay. Let us now apply the formula. Kasi makukuha na natin yung lower boundary. So, yung lower boundary po dito, so, from 61 to 70, kukunin natin yung 61. And then, magsusubtract tayo sa kanya ng 0.5. Kasi siya yung lower class limit. So, magiging 60.5 plus, ayan na, delta 1. Okay, so yung frequency ng modal class natin is 11. And then yung next lower class natin is 51 to 60. And then yung frequency niya is 7. So ang gagawin natin, 11 minus 7 will get 4. Over yung delta 1, that is 4, plus delta 2 naman, d sub 2. So, yung next upper class nung 61 to 70 is 71 to 80. So, ang frequency naman niya is 6. So, 11 minus 6, we have 5. Times the interval 10. Next, 60.5 plus 4 over the sum of 4 and 5 is 9, diba? Times 10. 60.5 plus 4/9. So, kailangan nating i-divide yung 4 sa 9. So, kapag dinivide natin yon, ang makukuha nating sagot is 0.4 repeating. So, repeating digit natin is 4. So, approximately 0.44. Ayan. Times 10. 60.5 plus, so the product of 0.44 and 10 is 4.4. And then add lang natin 60.5 plus 4.4 will get 64.9. So ito po yung ating nakuhang mode. Okay, ibig sabihin yung weight in kilograms ng 30 students is 64.9. So in 64.9 na yan, pasok po siya dun sa modal class natin na 61 to 70. So up next, after measures of central tendency, another statistical measures will be discussed. This time, we will be discussing measures of variability. Okay, so kung anong difference ng central tendency sa variability is makikita nyo po yan as we go along with our discussion. So una muna natin i-discuss kasi 4 po yan is yung range and average deviation. And then yung variance and standard deviation. So ang pinakamadali sa lahat ng measures of variability na yan is yung range, because range is just the difference between the highest score and the lowest score. So, na-discuss ko na po yan dun sa organizing data in a frequency distribution table. Noong nag-construct tayo ng frequency distribution table, kinailangan kong i-discuss yung range na yon kasi kailangan talaga siya. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.